welcome back to the Awakening Potential Show, where ordinary softens and extraordinary is allowed to emerge. I'm your host, Karen Rudolph. I'm your transformational journey guide, speaker, and founder of Tranquil Solutions, author of Spiraling Up, Command Your Light. This is a show that's devoted to real conversations that awaken possibility, expand perspective, and support us in spiraling upward through life with greater awareness, clarity, embodiment, and purpose. Because transformation doesn't happen by pretending we have it all together. Absolutely not. It happens that the moment we're willing to reconnect with ourselves honestly, consciously, and courageously. And today's guest is bringing exactly that kind of conversation. I'm really excited and honored to be introducing a dear friend of mine whose work and story and presence in creating these powerful ripples out there in the world. Our guest today, Renee Brown, welcome. She's the president and co-founder of Next Level Recovery and Sober Living. Next Level Recovery, along with Sober Living, offers an integrated approach to mental health, substance abuse, addiction, dual diagnosis, and sustainable life skills, work readiness, and employment opportunities. Love all that. She also has medical mind share. Renee is an author and a keynote speaker. Renee, welcome to the Awakening Potential Show.
Oh, thanks so much, Karen. I'm just very appreciative to be here today.
It's always an honor to be in your presence, let alone having you on the show today. I'm really excited about that. We've been talking about doing this for a while.
We have.
With our busy lives and busy schedules, I totally get it. I'm always curious to go back in time. What brought you to where you are today? As a child, were you talking about these conversations? Did you have an experience? Anything or as big or little as you want to share about that, just to give the listening audience a little background conversation.
Well, Karen, as always, your questions are quite thoughtful because what you're really asking is what's inspired where I'm at today? And it did begin early in my childhood.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, I would give credit to my mother in that she taught me how to pray when I was 2. And I never forgot that. And really, what that gave me is this empowerment to feel connected to
Mhm.
God, the universe, trees, rocks, everything that's beyond myself, which can inspire experiences that go beyond our internal world. And what I didn't realize so young is that I would experience traumatic experiences where I would really need to draw on the skill of connecting outside of myself, that energy and that love to heal, to feel heard, to release energy inside of me, and to be able to connect with others. What my mother gave me was probably the biggest gift that I would ever receive throughout my life. That's changed the orientation of everything I do. So, one of the experiences that I had very young is that I was placed in foster care. I was in an environment, and actually several environments that were heavily disconnecting, deficit of care and love. And
Mhm.
in these moments and in these times, I can just remember having a favorite tree that I would sit in and just feeling connected to the tree. And I remember even just feeling the vibration of it and even imagining the love and understanding it might have for me. I've gone back. I'm not even going to say how many years I think that is, but it's so far back. I have gone back to visit the tree It's been really powerful. One of the experiences that I had is when I left a foster home where I was sequestered in a room, isolated, never allowed out, and I
Mm.
needed to make a run. And I made a run. I was just 10 years old and I didn't realize it, but I ended up in the middle of East LA and there were homeless people all over the streets. I saw knives, I saw guns, and I knew I was going to have to make it back. And two of the people from the foster home had run away with me, an 8-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. We were all very young. And Anna, the 8-year-old girl, got really sick. None of us had intended to ever have to go back and face that foster home. But in order to help save Anna in that night, it was cold, it was dark, it was raining. She was seriously ill. I needed to make it back. And I remember running through the streets of LA, and I ran in the middle of the streets because I could see danger everywhere. I'm in crypt area, I'm in blood area. I can
Mm.
visibly see weapons. I was scared to death.
I bet.
So I ran in the middle of the street against the traffic just in case somebody from the street decided to run after me. I had hoped that maybe somebody could even save me from the oncoming traffic. That was what was in my head. But another thought that was in my head is that I'm going to pray and I will pray until I make it back. I didn't know how I was going to make it back. I was out about 5 miles from where I had started, and we just meandered and never intended on ever coming back to that home. Shockingly, I had made it back. And I remember just looking for signs along the way. And I really feel like spiritually and intuitively, I was able to find my way and guess the right direction. Is it to the right? Is it to the left? How am I going to make it back? There isn't light in the residential areas. And
Mm.
finally, the crack of dawn hit. And I just took that as a sign from heaven. It's going to be okay. I am going to be okay. I'm going to make it back. That experience was so pivotal in my life where I could count on God, the universe, nature to help me survive a situation where I was literally scared to death for my life.
Mm.
That was transformational. And there were so many things I learned from that.
I bet. So obviously we're able to get Anna help, I assert.
Yes, she ended up okay. Everything was fine. And I was just left with an experience that I talk about today. And that's in one of the books that I have written in collaboratively. It's called The Essence of a Woman, and it's an international bestseller. It's in there. And it's called Rosie, my acronym and my key takeaway.
Right.
And the R, it stands for receive. And the R in receive is for receiving love. Love is a vibration that is so healing. I
Absolutely.
think we're just barely beginning to tap in to how much can we do with that frequency. We're seeing a lot of new modalities focusing in on 528 megahertz and just so much more, everything that has to do with love. We are looking at love very different in our physical health and in our
Yeah.
mental health with what we're able to do. So, right now, what is showing up as the most healing modality to trauma, something that tops absolutely everything, is flow state, includes love. So, if we can receive it, from the rock, from the tree, from God, from the heavens. from the universe.
Exactly.
It's extremely healing. And when our cup is full, when we allow the love to land, oh my goodness, the wisdom that we have from an experience that we can utilize and do so much with, it's amazing because our healthy state is reliant on the love landing throughout our bodies, where we're in flow, where we're not disconnected from a particular part of our body. So that philosophy works if you have been abused and maybe there's a part of your body that is still struggling to feel connected. The
Mhm.
flow of energy is measured and not the same as the rest of your body. Acupuncture is so good at addressing flow state. It's really helpful. There are a variety of modalities that we can seek now for flow state, and we're going to see more of that where trauma is concerned now. And I'm
Mhm.
excited about it. And my O was for overcome, and that was well before I really understood what could be done in a flow state. I wrote the acronym ROSIE well before the idea of flow came into the picture. And my O is for overcome. And what I've always expressed about it is actually that will happen by osmosis if we
Mhm.
can receive the love. But now, what I can do, and I'm excited about this, is I can really frame it as instead of osmosis, it happens from flow state. If we can truly just receive the love around us and let it land,
Nice. Absolutely.
sit with
Absolutely.
it. Yes, mindfulness, sit in that love.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Physical health, mental health.
Hmm.
It's extraordinary. And talk about awakening potential. The name of your show, it's in our ability to receive love.
Yeah.
So I've got R for receive. I've got O for overcome, which is just going to happen as soon as you let the love land throughout your body. And then I have S, and that's for serve. And I'm going to tell you, for me, what my experience is there is when we're in such a flow state,
Hmm.
when we are so full of love, I'm going to tell you what occurs to me really easily. That is, I just want to give. I just want to share. I just want to love. So, what happens when we do that is we release a natural trifecta of hormones that are healing not only for ourselves, but for the other person as well.
Hmm.
If we want to immediately experience a neurobiological change, I'll tell you what, offer somebody some help in any way, shape, or form. It will not matter how small it is. It makes
Exactly.
a big difference.
Absolutely. I love that. So go on. What is ROS?
Yes. And I is for inspire. Now, I have a little bit of a saying for this, and it's really based off of my experiences that I've had that have been life-changing or pivotal. And
Mhm.
that is the equation to inspire for anyone, where you can just feel powerful, competent, and the best version of not only yourself, but a deliverer of a message to an audience, large, small, or just another person. And
Mhm.
what it is it's when you can become one with knowing what you know. The next is know how you know. That's what uniquely qualifies you in explaining what you know. And then lastly, know how to teach or tell what you know. And there's an energy there and there's a vibration that's irrefutable. And it makes
Absolutely.
you uniquely qualified in this universe to really inspire another human being.
Mm.
It's powerful. So know what you know how you know, and know how to teach or tell what you know. And that is the I for inspire.
I love what the technique that you've created and are creating and where it's leading. So what's last? What's the last one?
So Rosie is receive, overcome, serve, and inspire. And
So,
all of that makes up Rosie. Of course, it's misspelled a little bit to be an acronym, but yes, that's Rosie.
I don't know why. We're in the book together, forgive me, and I know I've heard this before, but for some reason I thought there was an E at the end. For the excellence that you are, that's what it is.
Well, I'll have to revisit the next edition that comes out of The Essence of a Woman. I'll look into that. Thank you. You're always so kind, Karen.
Oh, thank you. I think it's great because how does this serve you and your clients these days with Rosie? Do you share that with your clients as well?
Yes, I have. And I will tell you what, mindfulness makes a huge difference
Abs-
in where we're talking about any kind of trauma. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
So, with integrative healthcare, we focus on the mind and the body and the spirit being one because
Mhm.
they are. And
Absolutely.
it's recent for us to really understand that they are one and the same in the West. Very new concept, and it's integral for healing. And it doesn't matter over what.
I love that. What got you into integrative medicine?
Great question. Well, to begin with a difficult childhood, I was focused on what am I going to do? Because this will not be my life. I was
Mhm.
sure of it. I
Mhm.
loved science with a passion. I didn't
Oh,
realize that mathematics is the language of science.
mhm.
But I'll tell you, as soon as I did, I thought to myself, maybe I should learn how to program because then I wouldn't have to do so many math problems. And not to date myself, but this is before Excel spreadsheets.
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm self-taught. Call it a little bit of 80, but I learned how to program. I had a passion for science, and I ended up teaching emerging technology internationally. And late in the night, I always knew no matter where I was with extensive travel, one day I will do something to make a larger difference. So, what happened is I had a family member that experienced some addiction, and he was not able to find any help at all. And in the era, this was the late 1990s, treatment centers, the ones that were around, would charge ten to $30,000 on average a month.
Right.
Insurance wasn't covering addiction, and people were losing their homes left and right. So many people weren't able to get help, and I wanted to make a difference. So, what I did is I talked to my husband about the idea of opening up a recovery house. And
Mhm.
so, my husband, Mike, and I opened the very first recovery house in the state of Utah, and we licensed it,
Nice.
and it grew. And after that, the natural progression just seemed to be might be helpful if we have a treatment center that's based on affordability, the same as the
Okay.
housing. And with the housing, we started out at a rate of $400 a person, and it was a collaborative environment. Most of our early people own sizable businesses actually today. Many of those people were with us for 2 years. If I speak internationally today as a keynote, it's
Right.
on housing. It's amazing what can happen when we feel safe and when we feel connected. Absolutely do not disparage my treatment center. Next Level Recovery is able to do so much comprehensively, and especially when it works with the sober living properties. because sober living properties acts like, I think many of your viewers are probably familiar with Rat Park in the experiment where a psychologist simply put an addicted rat into a park where there was stimulation and there was connection and just so much to do. And what happened is the rat all by himself would decide to not drink from the opiate laced water, but the regular water. And that
Mm.
happened pretty swift. And then they did a few more experiments where the rat was an isolated teenage rat and then was sent to the park. It took a little bit longer, but then finally the rat's free of addiction. Our environments are everything as a human being. And
Absolutely.
so my sober living environments are designed for wellness and the pillars of what we look at internationally,
Right.
as well as some of the rat park features, if you will. So it's all based on that. And then it can work and connect with other outpatient centers, including next level recovery. But then finally, I know you think I'd be done, right? Finally, I noticed there's a back door to how the circle begins all over again. And that is when somebody has a medical need, we're still seeing prescriptions of controlled substances
Yeah.
happen as much as we ever have.
Yeah.
And so, with that, Medical Mindshare was born to offer recovery solutions medically for joints, for simple things as well as car accidents, where people can receive some care without the controlled substance.
So what I really heard in all of this, and this is amazing, you amaze me anyway. One of the reasons I absolutely
Thanks.
adore you is you have an experience, you see a potential to serve and support others as well as your loved one, and it just snowballed into this four faction project that you. So what's next? I mean, I just think it's amazing.
No, thanks.
I love your heart. And I love because you're not just serving one person, you're serving a community, which is very well much needed. Do you think you'll spread it throughout the states in any way, shape, or form? Or is this just in the state of Utah at this point?
No, absolutely. We've had requests from many other states,
Yeah,
and I continue to have requests from many other countries as well
love that.
as a keynote, as a guest, medically speaking, to be able to share some examples of how can we care for people and care for them affordably. That's always the question. We had an era here where it stuck out profoundly. I think before it was 2010, insurance covered addiction and mental health a bit better than what we had seen in the past. But that's still needed all over. And we also have retreats through Medical Mindshare. So
Um,
that's something that I want to offer a discount to the viewers. Another thing I'd love to be able to offer as well is one of the places we like to start when it comes to physical health is hormones because wow, when your hormones are where they're supposed to be, we can just live so well. Mindfulness, there's so much that Rosie can take care of, but hormones is a wonderful place to get started where integrative health is concerned, to just
yeah.
feel your best.
Absolutely. I love that. I just want to take a quick pause here because this leads to all of Renee's contact information is going to be in the show notes. So we'll have all her information on how to connect with her and learn more about what she's doing and what's there and this beautiful gift she's offering you, especially when it comes to the hormones. So thank you again. I just want to make sure everybody knows it is in the show notes. So
Oh,
I
thank you.
Yeah, I just think that it's actually beautiful. Your heart, how do you enroll your husband in doing something? Obviously, this is a passion project for you, for the listening audience. What would that be like to enroll another in what you're doing and then create this huge, I don't want to call it an empire, but it's actually in essence an empire with all these things you're up to and constantly moving forward and expanding. What did that look like?
I think it's part of the excitement in our relationship is we can play with and look at together what more can we do?
Love that.
And it becomes a lot of fun. And in the first book, I have a quote that I wrote, and this is in the Healthopedia book, and it was another international bestseller. And the quote was, through consciousness, purpose, and passion, we can do more. And honestly, that's how I live. And I believe it's got to be a together we can. Everything would die with me if it were only me.
Exactly.
And I'm so grateful that I have a partner that begins, that's where the we and me begins. And then from there, so much community and people like yourselves, Karen, making the difference that you do on a daily basis.
Thank you. I know we were in the books together, and it's just created this incredible relationship and connection between the two of us that I'm very grateful for. I haven't had the privilege of meeting your husband as of yet, but I'm sure he's got an incredible heart as well, because it really does take a village to create something big. So I look forward to that day when I do, for sure.
Soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll have to
Yes.
plan. We'll have to plan ahead for sure because I know we both have busy schedules, but it's something I definitely would love to do. I always ask right before we start wrapping up, I call them pearls of wisdom. What is one pearl of wisdom you'd like to leave the listening audience with today? A takeaway for them to really think about what might awaken their potential within them.
I've got one, and as you hear it, you may not be surprised. What I'm often heard saying is that no matter what the problem, love is the answer.
Absolutely. I was just having a conversation with somebody this morning, and she's like, "What do you do?" I said, "You want the long or the short of it?" And she's like, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "It always brings you back to love.
Mhm.
Everything I do will always bring you back to love." We're open and receptive to that, right? Not everybody's ready for that.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else you'd like to leave the listening audience with before we wrap up?
We've covered so much. It would honestly, the last quote that I said, but Rosie, the receive, overcome, serve, and inspire. That
Yeah,
can be really powerful if you let that message in. In
absolutely.
any of us, through love, we can do anything. Love always wins.
Absolutely. That's where I always tag in love and hate or love and fear cannot live in the same space at the same time.
Different energy. We need that pure energy of love.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Love it. Renee Brown, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom with us. Your heart, your journey, your soul with us is just absolutely beautiful.
Thanks so much, Karen.
Yeah, thank you. What I love most about today's conversation was the reminder that transformation isn't always loud. Sometimes it begins really quietly with awareness and honesty, with one courageous decision, one new perspective, one moment where we stop abandoning ourselves and start listening inward again.
Mhm.
And I hope everybody listening to this today remembers that you're not behind, you're not broken, and you're not becoming. So, Renee,
Thank you, Karen. It's been an honor to be here today.
thank you. And a reminder that all of Renee's contact information will be in the show notes. And I'd love to invite you into her world. Look her up, say hello. And if you mention the Awakening Potential show, she'll know where you found her so she can get you that information for her. And if you'd like to connect with me through Tranquil Solutions, I'm the one that actually responds to you when you reach out and ask me a question. We're exploring a new paradigm of awakened potential within our community, or feel free to book a private mind mosaic mapping experience with me today. And I'd love to show you what's possible moving forward. So until next time, keep spiraling upward, keep commanding your light, and remember, the bridge between ordinary and extraordinary is built with small steps of change and big leaps of faith. You'll, until we see you next time on the Awakening Potential Show, make it an amazing day. Bye for now.